On December 6, 2017, I was holding my newborn kid who had been delivered through cesarean section earlier that evening. Our family was finally whole, and I was trying to cherish every second of it, with the possible exception of the lack of sleep I was getting. On December 7, 2017, I was experiencing the utmost joy. The evening had arrived, and my husband and I had only just finished our meal. After that, I leant back against the bed and fell asleep almost immediately. After a few moments, it felt exactly as if someone had climbed onto the bed and punched me in the middle of the chest. I managed to pull myself up onto my elbows while still gripping my chest and giving my husband the baby in one hand. He grabbed the infant and dashed down the hallway toward the reception area in search of a nurse. When I looked down, I was able to see my heart racing through my gown. It was thumping so quickly that I could hear it in my ears. I had a hazy idea that my husband was freaking out because he was unable to get a nurse to enter the room, but it was definitely on his mind. After that, the light started shining in the furthest corner of the room, up near the ceiling, just behind my spouse. My energy started escaping my body and pouring into the light outside of it. After that, it ascended towards the heavens, moving together with the light. The light transported me into space, beyond our cosmos, and into a ball of light that shone so brilliantly that I could see it from a great distance away before I really arrived there. Energy was pouring not only into but also away from the enormous ball of light that was present. The light was traveling off in a myriad of different paths across the cosmos. I traveled into the bright sphere that later became familiar to me as the center sun. I started getting images of my life, not just this one but every life I'd ever lived before or after this one. The final glimpse that was provided to me was of this existence. The images were quite similar to the childhood pictographs I used to get. I was shown pivotal moments in both of my lives. After that, I was shown images of the excellent things I had done, as well as the negative things I had done. The number of good deeds I had done appeared to outweigh the number of bad ones, despite the fact that I had committed some very heinous acts in previous lifetimes. After then, I had a glimpse of the planet itself. The next vision that I had was of myself getting closer and closer to the center sun. It seemed to me as though I was being taught that the central sun is where all energy originates from and returns to, regardless of where a person may call home from one lifetime to the next. Despite this, there were times when I felt the familiar energies of loved ones who had passed away, both from this life and from other incarnations I had lived in the past. They were not actual physical stuff but rather energy. I was instantly familiar with them, and they were equally familiar with me, particularly those who had had previous lifetimes with me in addition to this one. These images emerged from deep within my subconscious, and as a result, I gained insight into topics that I could not have possibly known. I was not confronted by any other entity that professed to be God. My understanding of the workings of the cosmos and the origins of matter and dark energy came to me all of a sudden like a flood. In an effort to make sense of what was place, this has motivated me to read up on quantum physics. As the reason for my being in this world became clear to me, a glimpse of the future that it contains for me was shown to me. My goal in life is to love and be loved by others, as well as to teach and learn from others. I am to serve as a guiding light for others who, like me, have been confronted with a situation that fundamentally altered their lives and are looking for comprehension. My role as a parent was to teach my children to follow their passions and to have open minds and hearts so that they may find harmony and comprehension in the world. Everything was incredibly lifelike, possibly even more so than I have ever seen reality to be. Everything was spot on. I was quite certain that I had passed away as I was holding my newborn child in the hospital on the day that I felt as though I had been there for years. I made an attempt to check in on my husband and children, but I soon realized that just a few seconds had elapsed. I came to the conclusion that time is really an illusion, that our energy can communicate without the need of words, and that it can travel without regard to the pace at which it moves. As I checked in on my family, my newborn daughter was wailing, and I looked over to find that my husband was also sobbing. The next thing I knew, I was brutally thrown back into my body, and I felt everything that was being done to bring me back with great intensity. In an effort to bring my pulse rate down from 225 beats per minute, the nurses implanted 4 intravenous lines in different parts of my body and administered adenosine injections to me on 3 consecutive occasions. On the 3rd attempt, it worked, and immediately afterward, my heart rate returned to its regular rate of 80 beats per minute. I turned to face my husband and told him that I loved him, and he responded by telling me that he loved me just as much. After that, they brought me down for a CAT scan in a wheelchair. My doctor determined that I had pulmonary embolism, which started in my heart and traveled to my left lung. The embolism had been there for a few minutes. The nurses referred to the sort of embolism I suffered as a widowmaker, since 98% of persons who have this type of embolism do not survive it. My near-death experience has taught me to be more appreciative of the time I get to spend with the people I care about. In spite of this, it seems to be a two-edged sword, since I can clearly recall how reassuring and peaceful I felt when I was exposed to the light. In the year that has passed after my encounter, I have come into contact with a number of remarkable individuals who have had experiences that are comparable to mine, as well as those who have had experiences that are drastically different from mine yet share aspects of their narrative with me. I am aware of a life after this one, and I believe it is my responsibility to help people make the most of their own potential while I am still here on Earth. I am also making an effort to elevate both my own vibration and the vibration of people around me via means of frequency, such as creativity and talent, in order to awaken their soul to the bigger purpose that it serves. My life has been rather painful ever since I had the NDE, due to the fact that the individuals I have spoken to up until this point have no idea what I am talking about when I attempt to describe my NDE to them. Some people believe that I have lost my mind. I also have noticed that I am unable to interact with people in the same manner that I used to. Now a significant portion of the human population repulses me, and it causes me a great deal of tension to attempt to comprehend the problems they have. Many of the time, their experiences come across to me as being so insignificant and focused on themselves that it really causes my heart to hurt. As a result of my near-death experience, I also have some new gifts. I can detect the sound, smell, and taste of electricity. Though an appliance or equipment is connected in, even when it is set to the off position, I can still hear a humming or buzzing sound coming from it. Sometimes I am able to hear the thoughts of others and see their life in my mind's eye. I am able to sense the energies of other people and frequently experience déjà vu. My dreams are filled with bright colors, and I frequently find myself outside of my body. It's as if I'm double-checking everything back at my house and making sure that everything I've been through is indeed genuine. I can recall information about the first 5 years of my existence that I had never known before or that I had never been told. My entire life has taken a 180-degree shift, which has been both a gift and a curse for me, since I am no longer able to connect with the typical person in the same way that I used to be able to. I really do hope that anyone who may be going through what I went through, or who may have gone through it in the past, might find some solace and comfort from my tale.